Join me on a fascinating journey where I show you some of the techniques used in scale aeromodelling. Hello again modellers, we're back in the workshop. Today I'm just going to revisit the carbon rod forming that we did the other day, but today I'm going to do it with 1K tow and with the larger diameter silicone tubing, see if we can get these wingtips and elevators, trailing edges sorted out and made. That's 5 grams. Nine. 1 gram. So what we've got here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strands of 1K. Once this 1K arrived, I realised how thin it was and thought actually I need some 3 and 6, so I've actually ordered some 3K and some 6K. That is equivalent to a 6K, just one piece, so we'll see how that goes. So we'll just thread the guitar string through the tube, through this silicone tube, put a bend in the end. You've already seen all this, so it's just a refresher really. So there's the kink in the end of that, and that's the fibres that we're going to work with. Get them in the middle as best I can. Right, here we go. Hook it through the end of that, and then we'll draw it through. I'll do it over the pot, so that if there is any squeezed out, which I'm hoping there will be. So this is 6 strands. It's all come out the end. Undo the loop. We'll cut the end off of that in a minute. Now I can already see that it's not absolutely full. So 6 strands I don't think it's going to be enough. I think we need to look at 8. Right, if you remember last time, what we did was we laid that out ready, and then we did 2, and then we taped 2 strands, 2 sets together. So I'm going to do the same again, but this time I'm going to cut 8 lengths of this. Thread that through, and in the end, hook it through that little lot. And we'll stipple this lot, get it all nice and wet. Somebody suggested on one of the videos in the comments to wear 2 layers of gloves. Well, that's quite a good idea. I think that's quite clever, that. But to be honest, I find it just as easy to take the pair off and just put the pair on. Right, let's see if we can get this onto the end of there. Right, just to make doubly sure, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 strands there. 8 strands through that. No, that's not working as well as I'd hoped. 8 strands through there, but it's not full. Not even nearly full. That's 2 more strands to actually make 4 strands. Add these to this lot. Get the hook through all of it. Try again. This has proven to be a real failure. What I am going to do though is just leave this now, and I'm going to go with that one. Even though it's not perfect. We'll see if it works, because if it doesn't work I'm just going to laminate it out of balsa. I've had enough. I can already see areas where there's just not enough resin in there. It's not filled the tubing. That's not impressive. So we need a lot more tubing than the what appeared to be 10 layers in there. Right, 2 more to do. That's 10 lengths. That's 12 strands. I'm going to live dangerously. No gloves on. Now I'm wondering whether the problem is that I've not got enough resin into the thread. This is 12 strands, but not heavily wetted out. Right, that's again not wetted out. So I don't think this is going to work either. Lay one out there, get ready for the second. I'm going to mix some more resin. It needs a lot more resin in there, I think. That's my problem, I've been skimpy on the resin. Well, I haven't got enough materials to do this again. So. And the midpoint, it's about there. Right, that was wetted out a lot better. Let's see how that goes. And we're still not forcing any resin out. Oh, there we go. We are now. Still not enough. That's the 2 strands. Now I'm going to try something. Oh God, didn't put gloves on, did I? Silly Billy. Bit late now, but I'm going to put them on anyway. I'm going to try something now that might work, might not. I'm going to take a syringe and try what Ben said earlier. Not sure if this will work, but you never know. I don't know whether we can suck resin up into a syringe. No, we can't. The needle's too fine. So let's see if we can suck resin up with no needle attached to the syringe. And we can indeed. Right, so that syringe is now full. Now I don't think we'll be able to squirt it out because we couldn't suck it up. You never know. You can. It does come out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the syringe, oops, put the needle of the syringe in the end of the tubing. Let's see if we can actually inject resin. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see this. That is working. It's taking a lot of pressure to drive it all the way down, but it is going. And we're nearly at the end. Right, well, there we are. We're at the end of the tubing. That is definitely now full. Take the other one. See if we can do the same on the other one. Yep, it is flowing down. Oop, that's just all gone over my hand. So maybe, just maybe, another way of doing this is to feed one way maybe to feed all the threads down through dry. Then fill it with resin. Right, this is nearly working, but not quite. And I think what I'm going to do, gosh, epoxy everywhere. I'm going to take these tubes off of there because these two are not flowing, whereas the other two did. So I'm pretty sure that what's happening is the tape is actually pinching the tubing. Amazingly, that has worked. Those tubes are now full of epoxy and carbon. Not full, that's the wrong, not quite the word for it. Extremely messy. I'm hoping this sellotape will stick better than the parcel tape I used previously. If you noticed when I was trying to put the tape on this, this tape was letting go all over the place. This is real sellotape. If you think all parcel tape are the same, you're wrong. That's real sellotape. Those are the two long ones, so let's put those on first. Now, you could probably get the epoxy to go through a lot better if you heat it a little bit because it makes it thinner. But don't think about thinning it because that does not work. Epoxy loses its strength. And there we go. I'm much happier about that with the injection method with the syringe. It's very messy, but it seems to have worked. Alright, we'll see in the morning when we open this all up. See if we got away with this. Well, it's another day, modelers. Let's have a look at these and see how they came out. Not as rigid as I thought they'd be, but they've not had a full curing time yet, so but they're rigid enough. I'm just sliding my finger along to just break the seal between, you probably can't see it on the video, but it goes from being black to going white as the tubing just loses adhesion to the carbon inside. Now I'm not going to get that off in one, so I'm just going to cut the tubing gently around, just score it around the edge and then break it. Then it hopefully will slide off. It's not sliding off because that end is a bit there we go. It doesn't want to slide past that lump in the end of the tube, so in the carbon rod. I'm just going to trim it a bit shorter. That should make it easier then. There we go. Now look at that. No roughness to it at all, so there is epoxy in there all the way through. What is interesting though, you can see black and then you can see clear edge, so it's just epoxy on the edge and no carbon toe. So we do need to get this amount of toe that we use just right. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'll be glad when the thicker toe arrives. So I think you've got to have a bit of a range by the look of it, so you can get it right. I think what I might do is I'll work out what diameters work. And how many toes per diameter, you know, for that diameter of tubing. It is fairly destructive though to the tubing, unfortunately. But there we go. We have a wingtip, and as you can see, it's nice and rigid. Not super rigid, but it's more than adequate for what we need. So I'll strip all the others down. As the tubing is kind of written off, you can't reuse it. I'm just going to cut it in a few places, just make it easier to dismantle. You can see how easy it is to just slide off. Corners are definitely harder. Just a tiny bit of roughness along there, but that's all. This might have been the length that I tried to inject it from one end and it only got about halfway, and then I had to inject from the other end. It's nice and rigid though. Let's have a look at the elevators. Lovely. Just about perfect. This will mean we can get back on to doing some work with the Blackburn, and we can look at finishing the wings and the tailplane, or the elevators on the tailplane. There we go. Again, nice and rigid. And while I've been thinking about this, this has given me a solution to the cockpit framing in the Big Chipmunk. So I'm going to use this for creating the tubular framework of the cockpit canopy. So we'll use a slightly larger silicone tube than this. We'll probably use normal fuel tubing to do that, but we'll use the same technique. Okay, so there you go. That's worked really well. So injecting the resin got us out of a pickle there. If you've enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.